Hi, this is Musician's Edition, tenor saxophone, lesson number 2. In our first lesson, we talked about how to put the instrument together, how to clean the instrument, and we talked about the different parts of the tenor saxophone. Today, we will talk about how to make a sound on the saxophone, and we will take a look at the book. So let's start with the book. This is the book that I will be going through with these lessons. It's called Standard of Excellence. It's by Bruce Pearson, and this book is easily and readily available. It's under $10, and you can get it from a music store, either locally or online, or you can order it from places like Amazon. Make sure you ask for book number 1. On the first couple of pages, pages 2 and 3, there's information about the instrument, how to put the instrument together, take it apart. Most of this we went over last week, or in our first lesson, but please make sure you read this and look at the diagrams. Some really good information. Okay, let's get into making a sound on the saxophone. Hopefully you've put yours together. What I'd like you to do is detach the neck piece and mouthpiece and take it right out, and then you can lay the instrument on your lap. First of all, take your right hand and your index finger, and what I want you to do is place the index finger in your mouth a little ways and let your bottom lip roll in over your bottom teeth. So your bottom lip goes in over your bottom teeth a little bit. Finger goes on top, and then your top teeth rest on the fingernail like this, and then you close your mouth gently around your finger. So go ahead and do that, and then I will demonstrate. And it should look something like that. And so if you were to pretend that your finger is the mouthpiece, that's what we're going to do with the mouthpiece. So let's start with the mouthpiece and the reed next. So the reed goes in over your bottom lip. Your bottom lip goes in a little bit over your bottom teeth. So there's kind of a cushion in between your bottom teeth and the reed. A little ways. Your top teeth will rest on top of the mouthpiece. They don't bite down, but they should rest on the mouthpiece, and your top teeth should always be in contact with the top of the mouthpiece. And then you close your mouth gently around the mouthpiece. So it should look something like that. And if you take a big breath and blow, you'll get a very strange sound, something like this. So if you haven't already, try that and see if you can get that sound. If you are getting no sound at all, and you're getting something like this, that means you're gripping too tightly with your mouth. So relax your mouth. It does not have to be tight. Remember, the top teeth rest on the mouthpiece, but they don't bite down. And the bottom lip should be relaxed. So you should be able to have air go through the instrument, and if you're too tight, the air won't go through. So keep doing that. You can stop the video if you're still struggling with that. Make sure that your reed and your mouthpiece are lined up so that they're even. And keep trying that. You can do that for a long time until you are comfortable getting that sound. When you blow, try to keep your cheeks from going out like that. That will affect your embouchure, which again is your mouth muscles, and so you don't want those cheeks to go out. All right, when you're done with that part, you can reassemble the instrument, making sure that on mine the way it looks is this piece is lined up with this center piece, and then on the other side make sure you tighten that so that's snug. All right, now we are going to hook up the neck strap and adjust your neck strap so that it is comfortable for you to put your mouthpiece straight into your mouth without having you bend down or up. And when it goes in your mouth, you also do not want the instrument to be sagging down on your bottom lip, because that will affect the sound and what you're trying to do. Again, make sure you turn your mouthpiece a little bit to this direction so that your head is straight up and down and not like that. Okay? And then what you want to do is place the instrument in your mouth just like we did before. And before we get to that, let me show you where to put your hands. Let's start with the left hand. The left hand thumb goes on the thumb rest, which is on the back of the instrument. And then your first three fingers are going to come around the instrument. Notice that if you were to lay your palm down, there are some keys here that will open, and so you want to make sure your hand goes over those so that you're not pressing them. There are, on this instrument and most saxophones, 5 places for fingers. Your index finger goes on the second one from the top, and then there's a real small one that we're not going to use. Your middle finger is going to go on the next one, and your ring finger is going to go on the bottom one. But for now, only place your first finger, your index finger, down on the first key and hold it down. So your thumb is on the thumb rest, your first finger is on this key on the front. With the other hand, there is a place for your thumb on the back of the saxophone. Mine's right here. It looks like this. Your thumb will go underneath that. And for now, we're not going to push down any keys, and we're not going to let our palm rest on any of those side keys. And my neck strap came off, so I'm going to put it back down. And then, if we take a breath and blow, it should get a sound something like this. So try that and see if you can get a sound that sounds anything like that. If you're getting a sound that's a little different, higher or lower, you may not have your first finger all the way down on this key, and then no other key should be pressed down. So that should sound like that. Take some time and practice that for a while and see if you can get that sound. And then, when you're ready to move on, I do want you to take a look at the book next. And let me just show you what the book is showing you. First of all, I want to take a look down here. And this is a diagram that shows you how to place your fingers on the keys. So, empty holes are where the keys are for the front of the instrument. And if they're blackened in, that means to press that key down. So you'll notice that there are 3 empty circles, or 3 circles, and then a line, and then 3 more circles. The 3 circles above the line are your left hand. The 3 circles below the line are for your right hand. And so for this note, you can see that the top one is blackened in. That means press that key down. So that is the note that we just played with the first finger of the left hand down and nothing else. And you'll see that that note is called a B. Okay? The next one down has 2 blackened in circles, the top one again, and the middle finger of your left hand. So 2 keys in a row, and that'll play a note called A. And then if you were to add a 3rd finger down here, then you're going to play a note called G. So let's go back and let me demonstrate those. So the first note we played is B. That's first finger of the left hand and nothing else. Then your middle finger is going to go on not the next key, but the second key down. So there is a small key in between these 2 fingers that you do not press down. So we got these 2 keys down, and that should be a lower note, should sound like this. And that's A, And then if you let your ring finger press down the next key, so now we have 3 fingers of the left hand all pressing down, that'll be a lower note called G. So practice getting used to pressing those keys down, playing those 3 notes, B, A, and G. Double check to make sure your thumb is on the thumb rest and back, but not pressing the key. And make sure your right hand thumb is underneath the thumb rest, but not pressing any keys down. Okay, so let me just demonstrate those one more time. This is B. Adding a finger makes the note A. And then one more finger down, that's the ring finger, 3 in a row, and that is G. If you're getting a note that's higher, anything like that, it probably means one of a couple things. Either you're too tight with your mouth muscles, or your thumb is resting on the key and not just on the thumb rest. But if it bumps this key, it could make your note go higher. Okay, and then we're going to take a look at the book one more time, and I'd like to show it to you. So along with learning the instrument, if you don't know how to read music, that's another thing that we will be going over. So I'm going to assume that you don't read music, and I will go over everything with you. So at the top of the first page, we have some information about reading music. First of all, this is called a treble clef sign, and you will find it at the beginning of a piece of music that you are to play. There are several clefs, but 2 main clefs, a treble and a bass clef. Saxophone music reads treble clef. The second thing you would find in a piece of music is called the time signature. It is one number over another. To start with for a while, you're going to see these 2 numbers, a 4 over a 4. And the top number tells you how many beats there are in each measure. The bottom number tells you what kind of a note gets 1 beat. But for now, we are going to be concerned mostly with the top number. You'll see that one change more often than the bottom one. So there are 4 counts in each measure when there's a 4 on the top. And then music is written on a staff, which is 5 lines and 4 spaces. Each line and space has a letter name, and indicated in your book are the names of the space notes and the names of the line notes. And so if a note is written on a certain line or space, that's how you know what note to play. So an easy way to remember the names of the spaces is that they spell the word face going from the bottom up, F-A-C-E. And the lines going from the bottom to the top are E, G, B, D, and F. And musicians use a sentence to help remember the order and the names of the lines. And there are actually several sentences, but Every Good Boy Does Fine is probably the one I've heard the most. There's also Elvis's Guitar Broke Down Friday. You can use whatever you'd like to. The idea is to help you remember the names of the lines and the names of the spaces. So Every Good Boy Does Fine and Face. But you will be learning one note at a time, and the first note is B. And then let's get to actual notes. What we're going to see for a while are called whole notes. A whole note is an open circle on a line or a space. It does not have a stem, so it's just a circle. And that kind of a note in 4/4 time signature gets 4 counts. And then we have what's called a whole rest, and that looks like that. It is a rectangle hanging down from the bottom of the 4th line from the bottom, and it is a whole rest gets 4 counts of silence. All right, so we have a whole note gets 4 counts, and a whole rest gets 4 counts. So if you look at the first exercise, we've got a whole note B, and then we have a whole rest, and then we have a whole note B and a whole rest again. Okay, so everything is going to get 4 counts. So next, let me tell you what a metronome is. A metronome is something that keeps the beats for you, or keeps a steady beat so that you can play. And I will use it so that you and I can play together, so you can play with me and I will demonstrate. But my metronome that I'm using is on my iPad, and I just do a search for metronomeonline.com or free metronome. These are easily available and they are free. And what they do is keep track or keep a steady beat. You can set here with this number how fast or slow you want the metronome to go. So I've got this set at 90 right now, and if I press start, hopefully you can hear that, and that keeps track of a steady beat. So I'm going to let that go, and I will play exercise number 1 out of the book called Busy Bee. So we're using the note B only. Everything's going to get 4 beats. To get us going, I will count off 1, 2, ready, play. And then if you'd like to join in with me, you can. So here we go. 1, 2, ready, play. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. So 4 counts on each note, 4 counts on each rest. Number 2 is the same as number 1 except a different note. So we're using A, which is 2 fingers. And let me start the metronome and I will play that one for you. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, ready, play. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. Now you don't have to use a metronome when you play. The main reason I am is so that you and I can play together. But a metronome is a good thing to use. It's good to get used to playing with a metronome, because if you ever play with a recording or another group or another person, you have to have a way to stay together. And so keeping a steady beat is one way to do that, an important way to do that. All right, if you look at Double Trouble, which is number 3, this is the first song where we are changing notes. So if you look at the first measure, you'll see that the first note is a B on the middle line, and then there's a measure of rest, and then there's an A on the second space from the bottom, and then a rest, and then B, and then a rest, and then A. So during the rests, you will change fingerings. B is first finger, A is the first 2 fingerings. Here we go with number 3. 1, 2, ready, play. 2, 3, 4. And I recommend that you keep going through these exercises over and over until they are very comfortable, until you can get a sound that you like, or at least match my note pretty well. Try to make sure your length of your notes is correct, and make sure you're keeping right with the steady beat. Number 4 uses the note G, and G is going to be 3 fingers of the left hand. All 3 fingers, and this will be a lower note than the others. G is on the second line from the bottom. So here is number 4 when you are ready. 1, 2, ready, play. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. Number 5 uses all 3 notes that we've learned so far. The first measure is a B, then it goes down to an A, and then to a G, and then to an A. Here we go. Number 5. 1, 2, 3, play. Now to G. And now to A. 2, 3, 4. Another good way to practice these would be to watch the video, listen to me play, but just practice changing your notes. Just do your fingerings at the appropriate time. That way you're taking away having to make a sound, and you can work on just fingerings. And then when that's comfortable, put it all together and play. Number 6, different order of the same 3 notes that we've been working on. So here is number 6, starting with A, which is 2 fingers. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now to G. Now to B. And to A. 2, 3, 4. And then one more song on page 4. Tremendous Tenors is number 7. Same 3 notes. This time we start with a G. Here we go. 3 fingers. 1, 2, ready, play. Now to A. Now to B. Back to G. So I recommend you keep practicing this page until you're really good at it. And the more time you can spend, the better you'll get and the more fun you will have. I do recommend playing for shorter periods of time when you're first starting. Your mouth muscles will get tired at first because you're doing something that you haven't done before, and your mouth muscles do have to develop, just like if you started a sport, you'd have to develop the muscles for it. So 10-15 minutes at a time is good. You can do that as often as you have the time. So that is page 4. Next time we will look at page 5. Thanks for watching.